original records. No bullshit. This is Drives from Lonnie Smith. Great organ player. This is his, I believe, fourth and final LP for Blue Note from 1971. This is an original pressing. Fantastic soul jazz number. Drives from Lonnie Smith. Big fan of the organ groovers. Lonnie Smith is one of the best. It's a nice psychedelic number. Band's called Bittersweet. Hypnotic 1 is the LP on ABC. Original pressing. I want to say this is from 68. I could be wrong. Usually I'm not a big fan of like covers and stuff, but they really do a nice cover version of the Beatles If I Needed Someone. There's one clunker on here as usual with these psych records. But yeah, this is good. Bittersweet, Hypnotic 1. Also pulled out my copy of Dragonfly. This is an original pressing, heavy psych band. Their only LP from, I don't know, 69 maybe, on Megaphone Records. So just a little bit of bullshit here. I found this at a record store in the wild locally about, I don't know, a year or so ago. Walked in, was flipping through the new arrivals, and there it was. I think that the owner of the shop, who rarely misses a beat, simply forgot to put a 0 on the end of the price sticker, because I was able to pull this baby for 25 bucks. Was really pleased. Enough bullshit, back to the records. So this is Stelvio Cipriani's soundtrack to Mark Il Poliziotto, one of the best Italian cop soundtracks of all time. This was a record that I really never thought that I would ever get, thankfully, in this age of everything getting reissued. About a year or so ago, AMS Cinevox reissued this on vinyl, so I was super stoked. Bought it immediately. Absolutely fantastic. If you like Italian soundtracks, if you like Stelvio Cipriani, this is one of the best. Mark Il Poliziotto. Was in the mood for some UK prog, so I pulled out my copy of Pawn Hearts, the fourth LP from Van der Graaf Generator. This is a UK pressing from the mid-70s. It's not an original pressing on Charisma. Excellent UK prog. Van der Graaf Generator, Pawn Hearts. US original pressing of Touch, their only LP entitled Coliseum. Good psychedelic LP with some progressive elements to it. Unique sort of fold out in the middle there. This is an original pressing, I think I mentioned that already. Touch, US band from the Pacific Northwest, I believe. Again, Sometimes you just want to bliss out, chill out. Here's an original UK pressing of Ashra Correlations. Really, there's no time of the day where it's not okay to play Ashra early in the morning, late in the evening, while napping. Absolutely love it. Original UK pressing of Correlations from Ashra. This is an original German pressing on Nova of Amandul 2's Pyragony X or 10 on Nova. It's a cool die cut sleeve here with an insert that comes out. And again, as I mentioned, original German pressing on Nova. Again, later Amandul, but still very, very enjoyable. I like this record quite a bit. Here's that insert with the cover, and then some cool pictures on the back side. Actually, that's the record sleeve, but I have it in another one. Amandul 2, 10th, Pyragony, Pyragony. Your guess is as good as mine. The Playboys of Edinburgh, or Poe, Up Through the Spiral. U.S. psych band. I believe these guys were from Texas. I believe this dates from 1971. It's a really good psychedelic record. This is an American original pressing on Uni. All of these guys' lyrics are based on the writings / teachings of Edgar Cayce. So it can come across as a little wacky, but good record nonetheless. Poe or Playboys of Edinburgh, Up Through the Spiral. This is volume 1 of a 3-volume compilation series called Stroboscopica from the Plastic label out of Italy. I was just listening to this recently because love this kind of stuff. All kinds of great Italian soundtrack and library music tracks compiled here. Volume 1 of a 3-volume series. Fantastic stuff. A lot of this stuff I have on, other LPs, whether it's the full soundtrack or the full library reissue. But these are great because it pulls a lot of the top tracks and compiles them. Stroboscopica, Volume 1 on Plastic. Pulled my Volume 1 copy of Soviet Funk on Secret Stash. So this is a 2-volume series. I have both volumes of this as well. Really, really good collection of Soviet recordings from the late 70s, early 70s. This tends to be a lot more like fusion-y than what you think of as classic funk, but this is just killer. Highly recommended. Soviet Funk, Secret Stash, Volume 1. This is on red vinyl, as you might imagine. Recommended. If you dig fusion and stuff like that, really, really good. Let me look at the hype sticker, see if there's anything else worth mentioning about this. Yeah, it's from tracks from between 71 and 76, so good stuff. There's 2 volumes. This is Volume 1. Pulled this out. This is Snake Fingers' first LP, original pressing of this. Excellent electronic LP on Ralph. Some more electronica. This is a French duo called Space Art. This is their second LP. This is an original French pressing on If. Really, really good. Highly recommended. From 77 maybe. Space Art. Trip in the Center Head on If. Original French pressing. Pulled out my copy of Poem of the River from Felt, one of my favorite bands when I was a teenager. This is their 7th album. This is an original American pressing of this. Yeah, really good. Dig Felt. Those of you that have never listened to these guys, their records are not easy to get, but they've started reissuing them finally. Another killer, Morricone soundtrack. This is a reissue on Cherry Red Records of a soundtrack to a Western film, I Crudeli. In English, this film was released as The Hellbenders. But again, huge Morricone fan. Really, really good Western soundtrack from him. I Crudeli, starring Joseph Cotton. Here's another soundtrack I pulled out to give a spin to. This is my original mono pressing of the soundtrack to the Youth in Rebellion flick Riot on Sunset Strip. You know, there's some clunkers on here, but the standouts are great, from the Standells and Chocolate Watch Band, etc. Worth a spin, worth a watch. Definitely a period piece for sure, but good stuff nonetheless. Again, another great record to just kick back and chill out. Lord of Lords from Alice Coltrane. Original American pressing on Impulse from 1972, I think. I don't know. Let me see. I should do more research before I start these things. 71. Absolutely fantastic. All of her Impulse records are great. Lord of Lords. This is an original German pressing on MPS or BASF. Volker Kriegel, jazz guitarist, entitled Inside, Missing Link. 2 LP set. Really, really good. Runs the gamut of styles. Jazz, funk, jazz. Really, really good. Highly recommended. Original German pressing of Volker Kriegel's 2 LP set, Inside, Missing Link. I guess I spun quite a bit of jazz this last week. This is from 1972 on Buddha. Original pressing of The Visitors, Neptune. The Visitors are 2 brothers, Earl and Carl Grubbs. Good jazz record from the early 70s on Cobblestone. Recommended. There's a Coltrane cover on here, but the rest of the tracks are all original. The Visitors, Neptune. On solid state, this is Jeremy Steig. A lot of people know who Jeremy Steig is. I don't remember if this is his first solo record or not. It might be. Again, gatefold, original American pressing on solid state. This is a solid jazz record. Elements of soul jazz. Really, really enjoy this. Let me see if I can get a year. Nah, guess not. It's probably like, I don't know, 68, 69. Again, I mentioned earlier, I'm a big fan of the organ groovers. Here's another guy worth your attention, Leon Spencer. This is his LP, Bad Walkin' Woman, original American pressing on Prestige. Really killer, laid back, mellow organ groover from Leon Spencer. Did tons of sessions. I think he had 4 solo records on Prestige. I think this is the 4th of them. I don't remember off the top of my head. Leon Spencer, Bad Walkin' Woman. I guess continuing in the organ groover vein, here's an original Blue Note pressing of Moon Rappin' from Brother Jack McDuff. Probably his best record. Absolutely killer. This thing is great. Highly recommended if you're not familiar with this. I think probably anybody that watches my videos knows this record. Just absolutely fantastic. Original US pressing. So this was actually a recent acquisition. I was very pleased to find this. John Martin's 3rd LP, Bless the Weather, on Island. This is an Island repress from, I think, 1979. Excellent, excellent record. It's on this Island Bubbles label, but I got it super cheap, like $3 or something, so I was very, very pleased to find it. Excellent English folk from John Martin, Bless the Weather. This is an enjoyable pop psych record. Band's called Earth Island. We Must Survive on Philips. Original American pressing of this. This is a record that each time I listen to it, I like it better than the previous time. When I first got it, whenever that was, yeah, I wasn't blown away. Sort of typical light pop psych. However, like I said, the more I listen to it, the more I like it. So, you know, I wanted to listen to it again, pulled it out. Very, very enjoyable American pop psych. I think these guys were put together by Kim Fowley, possibly, if I remember correctly. Yeah, produced by Kim Fowley. This is a killer reissue of an Italian library LP from 1971, maybe, under Pompelmo, from Giuliano Sorgini. Giuliano Sorgini was an Italian soundtrack and library LP composer, produced a number of soundtracks and library LPs under his own name. He also worked with Alessandro Alessandroni quite a bit. They comprise Brain and Raskovich. Sorgini is Raskovich. He did some library LPs also just under Raskovich. Excellent, excellent, psychedelic, groovy Italian library LP. This is a reissue on Synedelic. Last but not least, This is an original American pressing of Phantom's Divine Comedy from '71, I believe. This is the only LP these guys released, titled Part 1. It's very much influenced by The Doors. The guy's vocals sound a lot like Jim Morrison. I think that, you know, at the time there was a lot of speculation that, hey, maybe this is Jim Morrison. It's not. And it's good. It's not amazing. It's not great. There's definitely some highlights on here, but from top to bottom, it's not amazing. But it's a good listen. Phantom's Divine Comedy, Part 1 on Capitol, original American pressing. All records, no bullshit.